holds it, he pushes through, so I move through here. But what I don't need to do is conflict with this point or his joke. So it's not that I'm moving like this. What I'm doing is I'm moving like this. I'm moving relative to this, not his joke. And that's the other thing people do is when he clicks and I move here, people are like moving relative to his joke. It's just, there's the box. So he's moving and I'm moving relative to the center, but the center is, it's not a fixed construct, but it is a consistent construct. It's just not like you say, it's not vertical, it's vertical. So the thing is, vertical is easier. The higher I go, the less difference there is in the angle. The more I go in the angle from the edge of me to the vertical, so what I'm trying to do is find this idea of vertical, and then I add my movement to it, which is the box. Box, box. So anytime I'm like this, I'm this. But only for a moment. Then I have to pick a side.
So we square up.
Well, this is squared up.
Yeah.
But then I have to pick a side.
Right. Okay.
So, you know, when you do this one, when he comes Yokomen and I move here, I'm not doing this. I'm doing this. And then from here, I'm not doing this. I'm doing this. And then when I push, he's only got to move that little bit. But if he overreacts, then he makes an opening. So this is this whole thing of turning too much, moving too much. So it seems easy when you have a fixed point, but then it seems static. But it's at that point, if this box can get larger and then collapse to nothing, that's the idea of now the box is collapsed, now the box is square, now the box is collapsed. Here it collapses horizontally, here it collapses vertically. You're folding. But when it becomes a box, it's a box. It's not a hole. It's box. So that's what I was saying is when Lucy pokes here and she goes here, it's not that you push on this, but what you're doing is moving relative to this and using the Joe as this. So to block his thrust, I'm moving relative to that. But but people move the Joe. I cannot. This is fixed by him. He controls that line. So if I'm here and I try to move this, I don't need to. I move here.
Right. Okay.
So these are all these concepts. I guess this is when you're hitting a piece of paper in Michigan. You're like, okay, to move. And this is this idea of if I move it and me, I move each one half as much.
Yeah, and this is like, so I'm doing here, so this is the control, I control this side as well. So it's only this wide now, but this is the same thing as this post.
And then the other part of that is when I do this and he unfolds, he's controlling that line. So the more I'm doing this, I'm fighting him. The post is here. This wants to become one with the post. That's what I'm doing. But I think you think it's not that my Joe is doing something. My Joe is joining the post, which was always there. It's just connecting to it. And then now I have a set. And it only lasts for that long. But if you can make it last longer, you control it a lot. Him what controls the geometry of the post controls the fight. So if he's using the post against me and I'm constantly trying to poke him, and he keeps moving, and I'm trying to poke him, well, who controls that goddamn post? If it's imaginary, nobody. Or I'm letting him control it, in which case I will never win. And so that's the part about to do this. I cannot use, and he cannot use my post. If he's using my post, he's never going to get in. But if he's using our post, he has a chance. And if he's using his post, he's already in. So that's this one where I'm like, oh, shit. That was his post. I'm trying to move his post like the whole goddamn thing. So I move here, and then I go, whoa. And then I go, whoa. Then I'm like, we're back to here, and I go, whoa. And then, whoa. So it's all of this stuff of, if I'm just a little bit off, it takes me that much longer because I tried to move the post and he wouldn't have it. If he let me and helped and moved too, we don't notice.
Yeah, that's a good way. So the thing is that if you overextend, then you moving your center away from the post, so then you have a bigger hole.
Yeah, so you can see that if we do it with the post like sort of in the middle, and I poke and you flick, and then he pokes and I block, and then I come and he goes back, and he'll just go back and neutralize. And then when I go through here, I'm making an opening, so he can come straight. And then when I move here, if I move here straight, he's still coming straight because I went crooked. So when I move here, I have to move here. And then now, that's why people are always going like this on this one. They're always doing this shit. Because they're like, I see you trying to go over there, so they're doing this. And you're like, if you do this, the center is open. So what I'm doing is this, because I have to commit. So now he's got the line again. And I have to hit. But this idea that you can move the post is a very common misunderstanding. And it starts with your feet. So you see it. I don't know. I thought it was a useful metaphor.
It's helpful to see.
So this can be the post, but it's not only the post. That's why a jo is great, because it's not only a weapon, it's also a stick. And it's also like just a helping hand, and it's also just a part of your body, but it can be anything you want it to be. You just, for that moment, you make it that by your intention and your connection to it. It's different than saying, oh, this is a block. It can be a hit, but it can't be both. It can't be a block and a hit, because then it's neither.